Texas. I'm the biggest rapper from Memphis. You know what I mean? I help a lot of rappers from Memphis.
Yo, Memphis is looking real ugly right now, and I'm telling you, this situation between Yo Gotti and Key Glock might be way deeper than people realize. Because what allegedly happened behind the scenes recently? Nah, this doesn't sound like normal rap beef anymore. According to multiple whispers coming out of Memphis, tensions exploded after rumors started spreading that Yo Gotti got checked publicly in this city. Right around the same time, people noticed Key Glock's camp, making it very clear Gotti wasn't welcome around certain circles anymore. And before y'all say, Internet cap, hold on, because the timing here is what's making everybody nervous. See, fans already knew things between the old CMG side and the paper route empire side been cold ever since young Dolph passed. That tension never fully disappeared. People in Memphis been saying the city split emotionally after everything that happened. But lately, the energy feels different, colder, more personal. And now insiders are claiming there was an incident involving Yo Gotti that almost immediately got buried online before it could really blow up publicly. That's the weird part. Because usually if something happens involving a major rapper in their own hometown, social media goes crazy instantly. But this time, clips disappeared, stories vanished. Certain pages stopped posting about it out of nowhere. And now fans are asking one dangerous question. Who's trying to keep this quiet? Meanwhile, Key Glock supporters have been acting extra bold online lately, posting cryptic messages, laughing in comments, and hinting that Memphis loyalty shifted permanently behind closed doors. And honestly, the scariest part about this whole situation isn't even the rumors themselves. It's the fact that nobody from either side is fully shutting them down. Because in hip-hop, silence usually means one thing. Something happened that people don't want the internet digging too deeply into. And what's making this whole situation feel so dangerous right now is the fact that Memphis fans aren't reacting to this like normal internet gossip. The energy feels personal. Like people inside the city already know tension's been boiling behind closed doors for a long time, and now little pieces are starting to leak online accidentally. Because if you've followed Memphis rap over the last few years, then you already know the atmosphere changed completely after young Dolph passed away. The music scene stopped feeling united. Everybody started moving different. Alliances changed. Loyalty became a huge deal. And ever since then, fans have been watching every move from Yo Gotti and Key Glock like there's some invisible war still happening underneath the surface. That's why these new rumors exploded so fast. Not because people necessarily know every detail, but because emotionally, a lot of fans already believe something like this could happen eventually. And honestly, the strangest thing about the entire story isn't even the alleged altercation itself. It's the way information keeps disappearing afterward. That's what has everybody suspicious. Clips getting deleted, posts suddenly missing, certain pages going quiet after hinting at something major happening. In today's internet era, that almost never happens naturally, especially with rap drama. Usually people chase those clicks aggressively. So when stories start vanishing instead of spreading bigger, fans immediately assume somebody behind the scenes wants the situation contained before it spirals publicly. And trust me, Memphis politics are different. This isn't just random industry drama in Los Angeles or New York where artists throw shots online for entertainment. Memphis carries street energy into the music culture heavily. Reputation matters there. Respect matters there. And once the city feels emotionally divided, every little interaction suddenly becomes symbolic whether artists intended or not. That's why people are paying attention to Key Glock's side so carefully right now. Because fans noticed the energy shift months ago already. Subtle comments, cryptic captions. People around paper route empire moving like they don't acknowledge certain names anymore. And meanwhile, Yo Gotti's camp keeps staying unusually quiet, whenever these rumors start trending. That silence is feeding speculation harder than any diss track could. Because let's be real for a second, if these rumors were completely ridiculous, most artists would shut them down instantly. Especially allegations involving public disrespect in your own hometown. That kind of narrative can spread dangerously fast in hip-hop culture. So the fact nobody fully addresses it head-on makes fans think there's some level of truth hidden somewhere underneath the internet exaggeration. Now, does that mean every rumor online is accurate? Obviously not. Social media turns everything dramatic. But usually where there's smoke in rap culture, there's at least tension underneath it somewhere. And Memphis fans know these relationships been fractured for years now. That's what makes this story hit different emotionally. Because to a lot of people, this isn't just about Yo Gotti versus Key Glock anymore. It represents the split inside Memphis itself after Dolph's death. One side feels loyal to Dolph's legacy forever through Paper Route Empire. The other side still respects Gotti's influence and what he built for Memphis historically through CMG. And once cities start emotionally dividing around artists like sports teams, every rumor suddenly becomes gasoline thrown onto existing pain already sitting underneath the surface. That's why online reactions got so intense immediately. Some people started mocking Gotti instantly. Others accused fans of spreading dangerous lies. And then you had another group saying the city itself quietly chose sides a long time ago behind closed doors. That last part is what keeps coming up over and over again. Loyalty. Who the city really stands behind now. Because whether people admit it publicly or not, Young Dolph's death permanently changed the emotional balance of Memphis rap culture. You can feel it every time these conversations happen online. Emotions still raw. Fans still defensive. People still reading hidden meaning into every appearance, every interview, every social media post. And honestly, I think some industry outsiders underestimated how deep that emotional wound still runs in Memphis. This isn't just fan drama for entertainment to a lot of people there. This feels personal. That's why even small rumors explode into giant conversations instantly now. And what really caught my attention is how aggressively some people online started celebrating the alleged situation involving Gotti before anybody even confirmed facts properly. That tells me emotions around these camps are still very heated underneath the surface. Too heated, honestly. Because once audiences start treating rumors like victories emotionally, things can spiral dangerous fast in hip-hop culture. Especially in cities where respect politics already carry real-world consequences. And the craziest part? I genuinely think this entire situation might only be showing the public a tiny fraction of what's really happening behind the scenes in Memphis right now. And the more people keep digging into this situation, the more obvious it becomes that Memphis rap politics right now are operating on a completely different level emotionally than most cities. Because usually when rumors spread online, fans eventually move on after a couple days. But this? Nah. This keeps getting deeper. Every time the conversation starts cooling off, somebody posts another cryptic message, another old clip resurfaces, another fan page starts hinting at inside information, and suddenly the tension spikes all over again. That's not random. That means people are emotionally invested in what these rumors represent, not just the rumors themselves. And what they represent is a city that still feels divided underneath the surface years later. Because let's be honest, ever since Young Dolph passed away, Memphis hasn't looked at rap the same way emotionally. The entire energy changed. Fans became hyper-protective over Dolph's legacy. Paper Route Empire turned into more than just a label for certain people. It became symbolic. Loyalty became symbolic. Supporting Key Glock became symbolic. Even remaining neutral started feeling suspicious online depending on who you asked. And meanwhile, Yo Gotti kept moving like a businessman. That contrast matters. Because in the eyes of some fans, Gotti represents establishment power in Memphis rap. Success, industry influence, major label structure. But Key Glock and the PRE side represent something rawer emotionally now after Dolph's death. Independence, loyalty, pain, street respect. And once fans emotionally connect artists to those kinds of narratives, logic almost disappears from conversations completely. That's why even small rumors turn explosive instantly now. And honestly, I think people outside Memphis underestimate how much local reputation matters there. In some cities, online trolling stays online. But Memphis culture takes respect very seriously, which is why allegations about somebody getting publicly embarrassed or checked in the city spread so aggressively emotionally even without confirmed details. Because perception becomes reality fast in hip-hop, especially hometown perception. That's why the alleged situation involving Yo Gotti hit nerves immediately. Not necessarily because people know exactly what happened, but because the idea itself carries symbolic weight. If fans start believing the city no longer protects or respects Gotti the same way, that changes the entire psychological atmosphere around Memphis rap culture instantly. And I think that's what has certain people nervous right now. Not the rumor itself, the symbolism attached to it. Because online, people already started talking like Memphis chose sides permanently. You see it all over comments now. Fans claiming the streets shifted emotionally toward PRE years ago already. Fans saying Gotti's influence doesn't hit the same locally anymore. And whether those statements are true or exaggerated, the fact people feel comfortable saying them publicly at all shows how much the atmosphere changed over time. That's why silence from both camps keeps making everything worse. Every day without a clear response gives the internet more room to create its own version of events. And social media loves that. Because mystery drives engagement harder than facts ever will. One blurry rumor can generate millions of views if emotions attached to it are strong enough. That's exactly what's happening now. And then you add Key Glock's energy into the situation. That's where things start feeling really uncomfortable. Because fans notice Glock hasn't exactly been moving like somebody trying to calm tensions publicly. If anything, certain posts and reactions from his side only fueled speculation harder. Little captions, certain emojis, people around him acting bold online. None of it directly confirms anything obviously, but in hip-hop, fans read between the lines aggressively. Especially after years of tension already existing underneath the surface. And honestly, I think some people want the internet to keep speculating right now. Because speculation creates power psychologically. It keeps opponents uncomfortable. It keeps fans emotionally engaged. It keeps the city talking. That's why situations like this rarely disappear quickly once they start trending in rap culture. Especially when there's unresolved history involved emotionally. And Memphis has a lot of unresolved history emotionally right now. That's the reality nobody can avoid. Dolph's death still hangs over conversations. The split between CMG supporters and PRE supporters still hangs over conversations. Every interview, every appearance, every rumor gets filtered through that pain automatically now. And unfortunately, that means even unconfirmed situations become emotionally explosive before facts can catch up. That's dangerous. Because once narratives start spreading faster than truth online, people stop caring what's accurate. They only care what feels believable emotionally. And right now, a lot of fans emotionally believe there's serious tension behind the scenes between these camps, whether artists speak publicly or not. That belief alone is enough to keep this situation spiraling. And honestly, I think the public still has no idea how much pressure Memphis artists are probably navigating behind closed doors right now, trying to balance music, loyalty, reputation, and survival all at the same time. And what really makes this entire situation feel heavier than normal rap drama is the fact that nobody's laughing comfortably anymore. Notice that. Usually internet beef turns into memes fast. People joke around, clip funny moments, move on after a few days. But the energy around this Yo Gotti and Key Glock situation feels tense, cold. Almost like people understand there's real emotional history underneath all these rumors that shouldn't be treated lightly. Because this isn't just about two artists. This is Memphis. And Memphis carries pain differently. Especially after everything the city experienced over the last few years. That's why every rumor tied to Dolph's legacy instantly becomes emotionally explosive online. Fans don't separate music from reality. They're the same way other fanbases sometimes do. To a lot of people, PRE represents loyalty to Dolph forever. It became bigger than entertainment, bigger than rap charts, bigger than streaming numbers. And once movements become emotional symbols instead of just labels, every conflict connected to them starts feeling personal automatically. That's why Key Glock's position in all this matters so much. Because Glock isn't just another rapper attached to controversy randomly. Fans see him as somebody carrying Dolph's legacy publicly now, whether he asks for that pressure or not. So every move he makes gets interpreted emotionally through that lens. Every caption, every performance, every interview. People analyze all of it looking for hidden meaning constantly. And honestly, I think that pressure changed the entire atmosphere around Memphis rap permanently. Because before Dolph passed, competition in the city felt more musical publicly. Now, everything feels layered with grief, loyalty politics, and unresolved tension underneath the surface. Which is why these recent rumors involving Yo Gotti exploded so aggressively emotionally even without verified details becoming fully public. People were already emotionally prepared to believe conflict existed. That's the uncomfortable truth. And social media makes situations like this way worse. Because once one rumor catches momentum online, everybody starts adding their own version to the story. Suddenly anonymous insiders appear everywhere. Fan pages start speaking like detectives. Old interviews resurface. Random clips get reposted out of context. Before you know it, perception becomes stronger than facts themselves. That's exactly what's happening right now. And what caught my attention most is how quickly some fans started treating the alleged situation involving Gotti like some kind of symbolic victory for PRE emotionally. That reaction says everything about how divided people still feel underneath the surface. We're not even talking about confirmed information here. And yet some audiences reacted like years of tension suddenly got validated overnight. That's dangerous energy. Because once fanbases become emotionally invested in humiliation narratives, things can spiral way beyond music quickly. Especially in cities where respect culture already runs deep. And trust me, Memphis artists understand that better than anybody. That's why the silence from Yo Gotti's side feels so interesting to people online. Because Gotti built his reputation around power, influence, and control in Memphis for years. He's one of the biggest artists the city ever produced. So when rumors questioning that respect start spreading publicly, and there's no immediate aggressive shutdown response, fans start reading into the silence automatically. Now obviously silence doesn't confirm every rumor online. But in hip-hop culture, silence creates mystery. And mystery creates speculation. That's why this story refuses to die down. And meanwhile, Key Glock supporters keep feeding the tension emotionally online without even needing direct statements. The comments alone tell you how heated emotions still are around these camps. Some fans genuinely talk like Memphis itself already made a permanent decision emotionally years ago about who represents the city's heart now. That's huge. Because hometown perception matters more than almost anything in rap culture long term. Industry success is one thing, but hometown respect? That's personal. That becomes legacy. And honestly, I think that's the deeper fear underneath this whole situation for certain people. Not one isolated rumor, but the possibility that the emotional balance of power in Memphis shifted permanently after Dolph's death in ways the industry still doesn't fully understand publicly yet. Because emotionally, PRE supporters move like a movement now, not just a fan base. That changes everything. And if Yo Gotti's camp really feels the city energy changing underneath the surface little by little, then even small rumors become dangerous psychologically because they reinforce narratives fans already want to believe emotionally. That's how reputations shift online now. Not through confirmed facts first, through repeated perception, repeated symbolism, repeated emotional storytelling. And Memphis fans are emotionally storytelling this situation hard right now. Which means even if the original rumors end up exaggerated eventually, the cultural damage from the conversation itself may already be spreading regardless. That's the reality of internet-era hip-hop. Sometimes, the narrative becomes bigger than the truth itself. And right now, the narrative around Memphis feels like a pressure cooker getting hotter every single week. And honestly, the more this situation keeps escalating online, the more I think people are missing the biggest point completely. This isn't just about Yo Gotti. This isn't just about Key Glock. This is about what happens to a city after trauma changes the culture emotionally forever. Because Memphis rap doesn't feel normal anymore. You can hear it. You can see it. You can feel it every time fans start arguing online. There's too much emotion underneath everything now. And that's exactly why even rumors become explosive instantly. Because once a city goes through something as painful and public as losing young Dolph, every conversation connected to those names carries emotional weight automatically. Fans stop reacting logically. They react protectively, defensively, emotionally, and social media turns those emotions into non-stop warfare 24 hours a day. That's the environment Memphis artists are operating inside right now. And honestly, I don't think outsiders fully understand how exhausting that probably is behind closed doors. Because every appearance becomes political. Every friendship becomes political. Every silence becomes political. If Yo Gotti moves one way, fans dissect it. If Key Glock posts one emoji, fans dissect it. If somebody follows somebody online, suddenly there's 10 conspiracy videos by morning. That pressure changes the atmosphere around music completely. And the internet keeps making it worse because controversy became profitable. That's the ugly truth nobody wants to admit. Hip-hop media pages benefit from tension staying alive forever. Fan pages benefit from emotional division. Algorithms benefit from outrage. The angrier people get, the more engagement spikes. So even situations with incomplete facts suddenly become giant cultural events online before anybody even confirms what really happened. That's exactly what we're watching now with these Yo Gotti rumors. And the craziest part? The mystery itself might be stronger than the truth at this point. Because once fans emotionally decide a narrative feels believable, facts almost stop mattering online. The story becomes symbolic. People start connecting old tensions, old interviews, old lyrics, old rumors together until it creates this giant emotional mythology around the situation. That's where Memphis rap culture feels dangerous right now emotionally. Too many unresolved feelings. Too many unanswered questions. Too many people carrying grief, loyalty, and anger into every conversation. And honestly, Key Glock became one of the central emotional figures in all of this, whether he wanted that responsibility or not. Because after Dolph passed, fans naturally started looking at Glock like somebody carrying the torch publicly for PRE. So when rumors involving Yo Gotti start circulating, people immediately connect Glock emotionally to the larger city conversation automatically. That's why his supporters move the way they do online. To them, this isn't entertainment. It's loyalty. And loyalty in Memphis culture means everything. That's why even little social media moments create giant reactions now. Fans are constantly searching for signs that one side gained emotional momentum over the other, who the city respects more, who the streets support more, who controls the narrative more. That pressure creates paranoia everywhere. And I genuinely think some artists probably feel trapped inside the internet version of Memphis politics now. Because no matter what they say publicly, audiences already formed emotional conclusions privately, which means every move gets interpreted through bias automatically. That's hard to escape, especially when millions of people online are turning real-life pain into daily content. And that's another uncomfortable conversation nobody wants to have. At some point, hip-hop fans started consuming trauma like entertainment. People refreshed timelines waiting for new tension, waiting for new rumors, waiting for somebody to crash out publicly. That's dark when you really think about it. Because behind all the gossip and speculation, there are still real people connected to real losses underneath these conversations. But social media strips humanity out of situations fast once engagement starts climbing. And unfortunately, Memphis became one of the clearest examples of that. That's why this Yo Gotti situation hit so differently online. Not because anybody fully knows the truth yet, but because emotionally, people already attached years of pain and division onto the story instantly. Which means even silence starts sounding loud now. Even rumors start sounding believable now. Even small incidents start feeling symbolic now. And if this emotional pressure inside Memphis culture keeps building without resolution, then honestly, I think the city's rap scene could keep getting more divided publicly instead of healing anytime soon. Because right now, it feels like everybody's still carrying ghosts into every conversation. And until that changes, every little spark online is gonna keep turning into a wildfire emotionally. But now I want to hear from you, because this whole Memphis situation feels way bigger than just internet rumors at this point. Do you think fans are overreacting and turning every little moment into conspiracy theories? Or do you honestly believe there's real tension still boiling underneath the surface between these camps? And be real for a second. Has Memphis rap culture changed permanently after everything that happened with Dolph? Because the energy doesn't feel the same anymore. The city feels divided. The fans feel emotional. And every single rumor now turns into a full-blown war online within hours. That's not normal. So drop your honest thoughts in the comments right now, because I'm telling you, people inside hip-hop are watching Memphis very closely right now. And if more hidden details, cryptic messages, or behind-the-scenes information starts leaking out, yeah, this situation could get even crazier fast. Make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on, and stay locked in, because the second new updates hit, we're breaking all of it down immediately. And trust me, I got a feeling this story is nowhere near finished yet.